Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I am crafting with Not Too Shabby's Frosted and Fabulous paper pad. This is part of the October subscription box of the month, and I'm actually going to present a new mini one sheet wonder. It's been a minute since my last one, and in fact, so here's the story. I actually designed Easy Wonder die number 3 as a mini one sheet wonder, just like all of the other Easy Wonder dies. They're based off of mini one sheet wonders. But the thing is that the die came about so fast that the die actually came out before my before I could get the printable to released, and then I never went back and released the printable. So technically, mini one sheet wonder 11 is Easy Wonder die number 3. I'll still reserve that number. Maybe I'll go back one of these days and actually release it. But today we're gonna call this one Mini One Sheet Wonder 12, and it's a supersized mini one sheet wonder, so not quite mini, because my suggestion is that you pick 3 pattern papers and look for some pattern papers with distinction, because these two, as you can see, they're very similar. So you need something to break them apart, and that way visually they're more distinguishable from one another. And some of the cards are going to require that you have 3 different patterns that go well together. And so that's what I'm looking for, is 3 patterns that are going to really let each other shine and not meld too much into one another. So I like to look for differences in pattern, so a small repeat that basically is a solid versus something more graphical like that sweater print. And I also like to look for like a light airy background versus something a little bit more solid, maybe a medium tone, and then maybe something darker like this faux glitter that, again, it could be, you know, easily solid color cardstock, but it's got some texture to it, so it's a lot more fun and interesting to look at. So here you have like a good, you know, light, mid, dark. You've got a really small print, a super fine print, and a larger sort of, I would say, a medium print. And you just want to make sure that you flip back and forth and have a good combination no matter what, you know, combo you actually want to use these in. And so I narrowed it down to 4, but I think I only need 3, so I think I'm actually going to eliminate the deer print. Cute as it is, I really wanted to use it, but I think I'm going to use the other ones, because I want to make sure that I have front and back that, you know, the combination of 3 will look good together. So this will be my set of 3 pattern papers. So the printable is available. I sell it for a few bucks on my website, but if you don't want to buy it, I will tell you how to make the cuts. Now, you could either cut each of the sheets individually, or if you have a strong enough paper cutter like a guillotine or the Tim Holtz rotary cutter, you could do all 3 at the same time. I'm going to show you one, and then and I'll call out each of the directions for you. Now, if you have a paper like this one that has a correct orientation, you do want to go ahead and orient that whichever way is sort of facing up, and from the bottom, cut 1/2 inch off. And then you want to cut another 1/2 inch off. So I'm going to measure from the left edge, 1/2 inch, and then another 1/2 inch. So now I have 2 strips that are 1/2 inch tall by 6. Now I'm going to rotate this so I'm looking at it up and down. And I want to take 1/4 inch off. And I want to do that for a total of 4 strips that are 1/4 inch by 5. So now what's left is a 5 by 5 square. Next, I want to cut this at 3 3/4 inch. So I'm going to cut this so that I have 1 1/4 inch, and then the left side will be 3 3/4 inch. Okay, this piece here is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. We're going to do some more cutting on that one, and we're going to cut this strip, which is 1/4 inch by 5, and we want 4 squares out of this. You want to cut these to 1 1/4 inch squares, and you're gonna get exactly 4 of them. So when we're done, we've got 4 squares that are 1 1/4 inch square. And then you have 4 strips that are 1/4 inch by 5, 2 strips that are 1/2 inch by 6, and you have that one panel that is 3 3/4 by 5. So I went ahead and I did the other 2 sheets, but this panel here, I suggest you cut at the same time. If you saw my recipe card number 1, it was all about mosaic cards. And one of the things that I showed how to do is you could chop this up any which way, and then mix and match between these 3 to create some different looks. So the thing that you want to do though is to organize these. If you're cutting them all together, just make sure that they are facing the way that you want to have them combined with one another, because you want to make sure that, because we're doing angled cuts, you're not going to be able to just flip to the back and get a different variation. So all of the ones facing each other are going to be reassembled but mix and matched. And so when you reassemble them, they have to go back in the exact same spot. So you want them all facing the same direction. So I just took a little triangle off the bottom here, and then I actually didn't organize this right, so I off camera I actually recut. I fixed one of them because it wasn't flipped the right way. So that's why I'm giving you the warning now. And then I'm gonna cut another triangle here. I just like how that looks, to have the 2 triangles and then the one sort of like a little trapezoidy kind of shape. But see how I have the sweater print and then I've got the tree print? They're a little bit too similar. I meant to flip one of those to the back. So make sure that when you're doing this, especially if you're going to cut them all at the same time like I did, that you have them all facing the way that you would want them to be mixed and matched together. So here's what I meant to do, so that I have this combination, and then that way there's a dark, a mid, and a light. So I'm going to set up these trays for the 4 sketches. So all of the mosaic tiles will make 3 different cards. Pull out your 1/2 inch by 6 inch strips. Pull out 3 of the 4, not all 4, just 3 of the 1/4 inch by 5 strips, and get those in each of the 3 different patterns. And from this sketch, we'll be able to make 3 cards. But recipe number 4 is all about using strips of paper. So you could make 3 sketches exactly identical, or you can just play around with these strips and then go off script and do whatever you'd like. That's the whole idea behind the recipe cards, is to try different things, just play with them. Now, all of the square tiles, all 12 of them, will go on one card, and these 3 strips will go on the fourth sketch layout. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I will assemble the sketch layouts for the 4 unique sketches, and I'm going to actually assemble them pretty close to how I have it on the actual printable. But I am going to go a little bit off script on some of the strips especially, and so I'll show that in a separate video. And if you come back in a couple days for the Not Too Shabby monthly hop on the 10th, we always have a team-wide hop with inspiration from all of the monthly subscriptions. So I'll show you all the cards I end up making, and so if you come back in a couple days, then you'll see them all. But in this video, I'll show you the 4 layouts that I actually show in the Mini One Sheet Wonder number 12 printable. So with my mosaic card, I start with a panel of silver glitter cardstock that's been cut to 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. And I am going to glue these down. Liquid glue is really good for glitter cardstock. I have found that dry adhesive doesn't stick quite so well. But I'm going to glue these down. And when you do, you can actually leave a little bit of a gap in between all the edges. So you have a little bit of that silver all the way through. Now, what I like to do when I'm putting these sketches together is I like to put the base layout down first, and then I'll come back in as the next pass to add the focal image and sentiment. I'm going to do that part off camera, but I'm going to show you all the layouts in this video. So with sketch number 2, we have your 2 strips that are 1/2 inch by 6, and then you have 3 strips that are 1/4 inch by 5. And what I thought I would do is bring in a little bit of solid cardstock to fill the bottom. And these are gonna go diagonally, not exactly as you see it, but it'll be diagonal. And what I thought would be interesting is in this lower portion of the card to have this dark navy blue, and then leave the upper portion nice and white with the strips in between. So kind of something fun, something a little bit asymmetrical. So I'm going to lay down the strips, making sure that those short ones in particular can go all the way across edge to edge. And that's just playing with the angle. So here's one of those things where it doesn't really matter how precise or exacting you are. But the whole idea is take the general concept of, a thin strip, a thick strip, a thin strip, a thick strip, that pattern, and just make sure that your strips can go clear across the edge. And that just means playing with the angle a little bit, because too steep of an angle and your strip might not be long enough. And so just adjust it until it fits and until it's kind of an angle that you like. But the whole idea is that, like having the alternating thicknesses of these strips. And so once you have them all adhered, then you can just trim the edges off. So there's a little bit of waste, but not a ton. We're still using most of the paper, so I would still consider this pretty much a no scrap set of cards. The third layout, this is one of my favorite layouts, and the first person whose card I saw this layout was Terry Kellum. She's one of my amazing moderators of the Crafty Fun with Friends Facebook group. She actually just moved to Alaska. I think she was in Texas, I believe, and so she's actually on the same coast as me now, and we're on bordering states, so we're kind of neighbors. So she did this beautiful card, and that was the first time I'd ever seen this layout. So these little tiles cut to 1 1/4 inch square will tile perfectly in a grid that's 3 by 4, 3 across by 4 up and down. And you'll have enough space to have a little bit of a border all the way around. So all the way around all the tiles, and a little bit of a gusset, or kind of grout lines almost, in between each tile as well. So really, really great, simple layout. And you can see this is such a good scrap buster design as well, because if you're getting down to like the end of your paper pad and you just have like, a square here, a rectangle there, just if you can get a 1 1/4 inch square from enough pieces, and sometimes you won't even need all 12, because if you have like a large sentiment or a large image, you may get away with just needing maybe 10 squares. So it just depends, but super easy. And I don't know if this was on Terry's original or if it's something I thought of. I can't remember now, but I like, with that previous one, just rounding 2 of the corners, like 2 diagonal corners. I've done that a lot of times. I really love how that looks too. Okay, so this is the fourth and final sketch, and it's just these three thin little strips. They are a 1/4 inch by 5, just to make them a little bit more substantial, especially since my strips, they're kind of light in color. And I'm going for clean and simple on this design. So I pulled out this bit of just scrap navy blue cardstock. It's actually from Cut Cardstock. It's the perfect color to go with this paper pad. I just love it. And I'm gonna add these strips to the solid color cardstock, and then it helps to really, have a little bit of a foundation, and it makes this piece more substantial. And so I like having this so that at least you have like a little bit of a dark border against it. It makes it almost seem more like a unit, So this is gonna be just off to one side, and then I'm gonna come back and decorate all of those off camera. So here's my final card set, I should say. So here's the mosaic card. That's recipe card number 1. If you want to go check out my playlist of recipe cards. This is sketch number 2, which is just having a little bit fun with some strips of paper, but different heights or widths of strips. This I love, just tiling those 1 1/4 inch squares. I really love that one. And then this is the fourth and final one with the thin strips. A nice, clean and simple card, and using a combination of the coordinating ephemera and the stamp sets that come in the subscription box of the month. So that's the first 4 cards. This mini one sheet wonder actually can yield 8 cards, but I'm gonna actually have a little bit of a play with the rest of the pieces that I have. So join me in a couple days for the 10th of the month hop with the Not Too Shabby team, and you'll see the rest of the cards that I make with what's left over from my cuts. Thanks so much for checking out my video today. Links to everything will be in the description box below.